All right, so what are the average PPC statistics? What sort of ACoS, tacos, click-through rate, conversion rate should I expect? So before we start the conversation, because everything is nuanced, I'll just go over what is published online in terms of average stats, and then what we went over, what we think is good, great, not so great in terms of statistics. I'll just read through it initially, and then of course check the associated document with this video where we may add lots more notes in numbers and stuff. So for ACoS, 30% is published average across all of Amazon. At least that's what it says on the internet. And so
Yep.
25 to 30% is good optimization phase, which means like long term. For launch, 50% to 100% is okay, very common and acceptable because you're focusing on building rank and reviews for launch phase, right? And of course, everything we're talking about today, everything varies depending on the category and the price of the product. Are we talking $100, $200, $300 products, or are we talking $10, $20, $30 products? In general, we're talking average price stuff, $20, $30, $40, $50 range, right? That kind of more common range. If it's more expensive, these stats may be different. Great for ACoS, long-term optimization, product is established 20 to 25%. Would you say, Ryan?
Yep.
Like if you're
Yeah.
managing a long-term client, they're sitting at 20 to 25%, pretty happy.
They're happy. They've got great margin there as far as ACoS. Usually what that also means is that they're actually getting like a better cost per click than sometimes average in the category, because they also have good conversion rates and
Right.
click-through rates,
Good
right? So
conversion rate,
the
good cost per click, not that competitive a niche. That's when you're going to get there potentially.
yeah, or they literally have a product that just kills the category, and Amazon says, please take as much of this as you can.
Mm.
And so you can sometimes negotiate lower cost per clicks in opportunities like that.
Gotcha. Okay, moving over to tacos or total ACoS, we call it tacos. We say tacos. So for long term, 10, 15% to 25% is good for that kind of medium term, actually. And then 10 to 15% is amazing for long term. If you're getting 100 sales a day, well, let's have a party. That is great. That's a home run on Amazon. That's great, 10% or below. But for launch, though, okay, 25 to 50%. So 25 to 50 orders are coming from PPC out of 100 for your launch phase, or even it could be more for your first initial month or weeks when you have basically no reviews. You're just relying on PPC to get those sales, right? For long term, medium term, if it's 30% and like medium term, you're gonna want to try to get to fix that. Good for medium term, 15 to 20%, but of course, a super great goal would be 10%. Most are never gonna get there. Most 25% is like pretty good. Like you should be pretty happy with that 25% for medium to long term. So yeah, so that's tacos. And click-through rate, 0.5% to 1% is good on average.
Yeah, hold on.
1.5% above.
Say, say that again, Riley. Say that again.
0.5% to
Half a
1%.
percent.
Yeah, to
But yes,
1% for click-through
yep,
rate.
that is correct. It's just I want to reiterate it because if people haven't looked at the numbers, they don't
Okay.
actually know that that is good. So yeah, like
Okay.
we want to clarify that Riley is not misspeaking here. That is
Yeah,
actually a
click-through rate.
good. So Amazon counts a ton of impressions. Okay, a ton of impressions. And the way that Amazon counts an impression is if your ad shows up on the page, first page, even if it's down at the very bottom of first of the page, and the customer only scrolls to like half, they actually count that as an impression,
They
because you
do?
don't click. Yeah, so there's something that they call viewable impressions, which is different. But there are different parameters for a click advertising. They are allowed to actually count that as an impression. What is a viewable impression is counted differently. Okay. So they actually do track those as two separate metrics. Now, if it shows up at the bottom of the page and the customer never even goes down there, that's one of the reasons why it's counted as an impression, is that you had the opportunity for an impression. That's probably the better way, is that you have the opportunity for an impression.
Okay.
That's why like the controlling of like the top of search and like the bid increase and that type of stuff, that's why they matter, because it's not just the opportunity, it's the spot for that opportunity, for that impression. That's actually why if you when we have customer or clients who actually get into brand analytics, and they're like, what's the big upset between brand analytics and this? It's like, well, the big thing is brand analytics can actually show you, hey, this is how many impressions that this search term has, and it's like, this is how many searches that actually occur, which would be let's say there's 100 different searches on a search term, but for some reason the amount of impressions that are available for that 100 search term or 100 volume search term is like 3 to 4 times that. And that's because an impression can happen on the first page, second page, third page, and even on pages in between that you're clicking on, right? Like product detail pages, you can have an impression that shows up there, and so they try to accumulate all of those impressions to give a view that's actually there. So all of this is just to show that the 0.5% is actually it's pretty good. Now the best, I want you to continue with those numbers, but yes, if you can get above a 1, that is solid. That means that you're getting good impressions, quality impressions, not just scattered impressions across the marketplace.
Targeted
So
impressions.
Go ahead and continue
Cool.
with those click-through rate numbers again.
Cool. Yeah, that's just so people know the benchmark. And then that's it for click-through rate. If you're at like a 0.1%, you're probably going to want to look to try to improve that. How do you do that? You can split test the main image price, right? That's what people see, and probably increase your reviews. For conversion rate, 10% is average for PPC ads. In order to be top half of page 1, normally you need 20+% in terms of total conversion rate.
Yep.
See? So if you're in the single digits, you're going to want to try to get that up to, when we see single digit conversion rate, we're like, all right, what can we look at the listing to fix this?
Correct.
Yep. Cool. So yeah, those are the average stats. ACOS 30% average, tacos 20%. You're gonna be really happy with that. Click-through rate 1%. You're gonna be really happy with that. Conversion rate 10%. You're gonna be happy. The best page 1 products are gonna be 20%. And of course, everything varies, as I said, category, price, competitiveness,
and your profitability, and
right, your
what you are
margins.
able to do. Yep.
Yeah. So
That's going to matter.
Yeah, the note here, make custom goals based on your margins and profit versus ranking goals. So what is our mission with this, our Amazon right now? Is it for ranking? Is it like, I've been on Amazon just cruising, but I'm like break even. I need to improve my margins. So you got to work towards those goals. Or it was profitable last year. Now it started to dwindle down. Guys, how can you fix this? We basically need to do a relaunch phase, get your organic ranking back up. So now we're going to aim for more spend and, higher tacos. But tacos is in general kind of the main metric that you look at, right, Ryan, in terms of how are we doing with an ad spend for an account?
Yep. So when you start getting into bigger brand opportunity, and that's probably the goal of everyone who's taking a course, so they don't want to just have like a small one product business. They want to eventually grow it to a brand. So eventually, most brands, when they get bigger, actually focus more on a tacos perspective in general, because they actually have a margin where they say, hey, look, we have 10 to 20 products, and we actually have this designated ad spend that we need to be pushing to try and get as much traction we can with our products. And so yeah, there's usually a certain portion of total profits that's actually designated towards an ad spend. That is pretty traditional when you're actually working with product-based businesses. They have a designated ad spend portion. That's one of the reasons why it's a good metric to use, especially during launch and other things, is because it gives you a few benchmarks that you can look at. Okay, when you first launch and you have a 50% tacos, you're like, oh my goodness, what's happening here? But then after like month 2, 3, and 4, when you start actually ranking up enough where your organic starts kind of compensating, you start noticing that your tacos is going down to a better level. And you're going, oh, wow, it started off at 50, and now I'm at 40, and now I'm at 30, now I'm at 20. And you actually see firsthand something that Stephen Pope actually says, where he says that if you've done SEO correctly and if you've done PPC correctly, every PPC sale that you have will have an effect, or will also accumulate roughly 3 organic sales to that one PPC sale over a 6-month period, right? Because in his mind, it is you're using ad spend for a purpose of ranking with SEO. Yeah. And so it over time is like you're pushing heavy over here with spend, and eventually it bounces out to this, right? And so that's the reason why tacos is good, is it can give you a good benchmark of, are you spending good enough in your category? We have had clients who came to us and they said, hey, our past PPC agency, we lost all of our ranking, and we have the best ACOS we've ever had, and we don't know what's wrong. And we look at it And one of the big problems is that they actually took their eye off of sometimes their tacos, and they looked at just in their advertising, how were they performing? And yeah, they were getting like a 15 and a 20% talk, or a 15 to a 20%
ACOS.
ACOS, but their tacos was like at a 5%. And when we look at actual metrics, that is not even an optimization level. That is actually a penny pincher level. And so, especially in a competitive category, when other people are willing to spend a 10% tacos, a 15% tacos, and even a margin of sometimes a 20% tacos to maintain that velocity and maintain those sales, you kind of have to compete at that level a lot of times. And so that's what ends up happening, is that we say, well, the problem is that you're focusing too little on your tacos. And sometimes they go, what the heck is the tacos, right? And that's when you have to have this explanation of ratios of actual ad spend to ad sale, or ad spend to total sales, and how it actually affects the SEO process and the ranking process. And sometimes it blows people's mind. So yeah, tacos is a really good metric to pay attention to, not just at launch, but actually throughout the phases of your product journey.
I've always thought it makes sense. You look at your total account. Okay, I had 100 sales this month, and how many of those came from ads slash what was your spend? If our total revenue for the month was 100,000 and our spend was 10,000, 10% tacos. That's the
Easy.
easiest calculation that I look at. I said when I ask people, okay, what's your total revenue and what's your total spend? One simple calculation. Okay, you're spending 10,000 and you're making 100,000 in sales. It's the simplest profit calculation, okay, right? And it's the simplest metric to look at. If you're spending $30,000 in ads and you're $100,000 in revenue, okay, we need to improve that. So how are you going to do that? Work on getting more organic sales for every PPC sale, right? So having that ratio of organic to ad sales better. A 10-to-1 ratio, woo, awesome. That's amazing for long term. That's like a goal up there. But 2 out of 10 ad sales you can be happy with for initial phases. 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10, even 8, 9 out of 10 if for like the first month when you're just trying to launch.
Yep.
Cool, cool, cool. All right, that's it for this one. Questions, let me know. Comments, let me know, and see y'all in the next one.